Welcome into a live edition of our Cubs REKAP Podcast, a presentation of our REKAP YouTube channel, available audio only, always, anywhere you get your favorite podcast. That's Gordon Wittenmyer. I'm David Kaplan. And Gordon, you and I sat and talked earlier, and then the news dropped. Jed Hoyer has gotten a multi-year contract extension. They haven't given us terms or anything in terms of years. Yeah. But what my belief is, again, I'm simply speculating based on how Tom has done business, that it's 5 years. But it could be less.
It could be 2 and an option.
It could be 10. I don't know. I'm going to guess that it's 5 years. Our podcast, as always, Cubs and White Sox, brought to you by the Illinois Tollway and their If Only campaign. Folks, quick time out to talk about something serious. We've all said it before. If only I had slowed down. The Illinois Tollway's new campaign is called If Only, and it's a powerful reminder that speeding doesn't just put you at risk. It affects everyone on the road. Every crash leaves someone wishing they'd done things differently. So take the extra time, slow down, save lives including yours. Depend on it. All right, Gordon, let's talk about Jed Hoyer gets an extension. Now, he has always said, and when you and I interviewed him in this very studio here, he was sitting right there. He said, guys, you know me well enough. I've been around here since 2012. I don't make moves to save jobs. I make moves because I think they're the best thing for the franchise. So I'm already seeing on social, people are like, oh, that's going to change what he does now at the deadline because he's locked in. He was operating the same way prior to this. And again, it may have leaked out today and then the Cubs acknowledged it. He always, I would bet the last 2 months, knew he was coming back.
Yeah, obviously they've been working on this for a while. Mm-hmm. The announcement right before the trade deadline is the only thing that has me like wondering, in terms of agendas here. Mm-hmm. What is it? Because it's a message. It's one way or another, it's a message. I mean, in the larger picture, the idea of having him signed to the extension before the end of the season is at least a message to Kyle Tucker that there's stability in this organization.
So funny you said that, because somebody in the industry who I respect, a good friend of mine, Brett Taylor at Bleacher Nation, said, okay, if you're Kyle Tucker, you go, okay, now we can talk because I know who I'm going to be playing for.
Well, right. And so, the idea was that this was probably going to be something that would have to happen at the end of the season or into the offseason with Tucker anyway. But the fact that you've got this done so far in advance can only help that process. Now, as far as what kind of a message you're sending to anybody else, I'm not quite sure, because I don't think this makes any difference at all when you're dealing with individual teams, especially if we talk about in the case of the Diamondbacks, where Mike Hazen's in charge and they have a really good relationship, or even if you were to go in the division to the Pirates, where Jed and Ben Cherington have a relationship. I'm not sure that this changes anything as far as anybody else's perceptions or how they act or how Jed would act. We know Jed's going to do the same thing no matter what.
Correct.
So is this a message to the fans, maybe?
You know what? It's a message. Hey, man, we are having a heck of a season. We are all in. Jed's going to be here. And it could also be a message to Kyle Tucker or somebody that they may be acquiring.
Maybe PCA, too.
PCA, but they at least control him. What if it's Mackenzie Gore, or there's another pitcher out there that we're not thinking of who says, hang on a second, before you trade me there, I need to know if the guy acquiring me is going to be there. So it absolutely could play into a number of.
Does Gore have no trade?
I don't believe so. I do not believe so.
Then who the hell cares what he thinks?
But still, when you talk to a guy, and maybe the Cubs are going to say, we're going to acquire him, but we're going to extend him, and he says, hang on, before you do that, I got to know that you're going to be there.
I think it does send him, like, to your point, if they're in the market for anybody that does have a no trade, that might make a difference.
No question about it.
And so it does. Look, the way I see it, the timing of this, like, you could have easily had a deal in place and just announced it next week. There's no reason. There's no other tangible reason not to, except the timing doesn't hurt to do it now.
It does not. All it does is just say, wow, They've got a lot of stability in Chicago. Same group is going to be there going forward, whether that's Carter Hawkins, whether that's going to be Danny Kantrovitz, who runs their drafts.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, whether the fans like it or not is now irrelevant because Tom likes it. Becky says, should have waited till after the season was over. I don't understand why. Your team is tied for the best record in the National League. You're one of the 3 or 4 best records on a day-by-day basis in all of baseball. What are you waiting for?
I mean, you could have waited until later in the season or see how at least August plays out, maybe even September plays out before you do. And here's why. Some of our, she's not the only one. Some of our listeners feel the same way. To their point, this is the first year of the rebuild where it's come together.
It's come together.
Until this year, we thought there was reason. I mean, I'm one of the guys that made the case, but a lot of people were making the case, maybe he should have been fired.
Yeah, I didn't ever agree with that, but you did. And you did make that point multiple times.
And there's reasons to think that.
But as you look at this team, if you're Tom Ricketts and you go, okay, I like the guy, I like what I'm seeing, we have a really good season going. Okay, if you get to September and he's out of contract and all of a sudden you're like, oh, God, the price just went up. I like him. Get it done. Why not?
Wait,
Why
the
not
price went up on Jed Hoyer? The price isn't going up on Jed.
If he won the World Series and you waited to the end of the season?
I don't think the price is going up on Jed Hoyer.
If he won the World Series, he could pretty much.
How much is the price going up? This isn't
I don't know. Theo
Soto.
was getting $10 million a year.
He's not Theo.
He will have the same number of World Series as Theo as
he
Cubs
arguably
president if he
up
wins.
A couple of seasons before he would have had this one. I mean, I'm just saying, appreciably speaking, the price wasn't going to be an issue.
But again, if you like the guy, I'm talking if you're Tom, if you like the guy and you believe in what he's doing, get it done.
I tell you what he likes about him, and this is not nothing. And it's probably a reason the deal would have got done anyway, based on how this season is going. The fact that this wasn't a season that wound up in the tank again, and things. There's 2 months to go. Mm-hmm. Things could happen, but they're fiscally on the same page. He's done everything that Tom has wanted from a fiscal standpoint and hasn't complained about it. Mm-hmm. And some of the restraints that have been put on him arguably have cost them the ability to get some players that might have made a difference the last couple of years. But he operates in a way that's consistent with the way this ownership wants to operate fiscally. If I'm a fan, that might frustrate me, but nonetheless, it puts them on the same page.
Okay, Omar. Come on, Omar. You got to be better than that. Sell team Tom Ricketts. Why give Jed Hoyer an extension? I'm paraphrasing. He has the best record in the National League. What more do you want, Omar?
You know what? I'm gonna defend.
By the way, Erica, great to see us go live. Absolutely.
I'm gonna defend Omar a little bit on this one because, look, this guy went out and paid more money for a manager than anybody in history had. Mm-hmm. And then he got beat by the guy that replaced him in Milwaukee. Okay. And had the same record the next year. We don't know yet. The jury's still out on this season. Last 2 months have to be played. And so what this deal tells me is that Jed needs to, like, the clock's ticking now to prove that this is the right signing. This is the right extension. Jed's got to get the trade deadline right. And now, I think he's got to get aggressive. I think he's got to go big. It may or may not work out, but I think that's step one. And then at the end of the day, this team not only has to make the playoffs, I think they need to do it as a division winner, but let's say it's close, they get in, they got to win in October. Even if that's 1 series, 2 series, I think they ought to, depending on what the matchups are, who knows, but this is a team that should be thinking at least NLCS. And if this doesn't happen, if they squeak in and lose, then they haven't done anything close to what this team was probably capable of doing. It probably means the trade deadline failed. And then the guy that gave him the extension ought to be fired. So to Omar's point, I see what he means. Yeah,
I think Omar's out of his mind, to be honest, and you by extension. Sorry.
Well, that's I think that says more about you, Cap.
Jerry Richard said, "Oh, great, Mr. Do Nothing is going to be around." Mr. Do Nothing. Let's see. He acquired one of the better first basemen in the National League for a couple of prospects. That'd be Michael Busch. He drafted at 26th Nico Horner. You could say what you want about Dansby. He is an outstanding defensive player. He's a very average pedestrian offensive player. Let's see. His starting third baseman, they drafted 2 years ago. He's already in the big leagues. They drafted Ian Happ. Say what you want about him. He's won 2 Gold Gloves. He's gone to an all-star game. Again, is he an average player? Yes. They did draft him, I think, 9th in 2014 or 15. I think 2015. He made the trade to get PCA, which was an absolute steal from the New York Mets.
On the other hand, what did he get for Rizzo and Bryant in the same 24-hour period? I mean, look, you can go down the list all you want. And by the way, you might be going here. The trade that got Palencia, that was
Andrew Chapin for Greg Deichmann, and he said, "Give me that throw-in reliever that throws hard. We'll try and fix him." Daniel Palencia.
The guy hadn't performed in the minors. Actually, go back and look at his minor league track record. The numbers nothing about those numbers say that he would be doing what he's doing now. So whatever, give him all the credit in the world for scouting or whatever. Maybe luck, but you got to remember, man, you can't just view this all in the vacuum of what's going on so far this year with this team. There's a long track record here. I will say this, and by
the way, Kevin Alcantara for Rizzo, and he's one of their top 5 prospects.
All right.
Just say it.
So and
Owen Casey for you, Darvish.
All those guys that were supposed to be, the one guy still standing, and he's doing a good job. But that was a complete salary dump. Kyle Schwarber was even a worse salary dump. And what would he be doing for you right now? These were all decisions that were made not just because Ricketts needed to cut. Yes, that was the impetus for it. But the guy that pulled the trigger and made those the decisions that would cut the salaries is the guy that just got the extension. So you got to put the whole thing together. The one thing I'll give him credit for when you're looking at all these things, because I got an answer for every one of these things that you've mentioned, all the good trades and the signings and all. The one thing I will say that was a departure from what we've seen, that I give him all the credit in the world for, was he went big, he went bold, and he went and got Kyle Tucker, a bona fide effing star, to drop in the middle of that lineup, and that's made all the difference this year.
No question.
And that's what they were missing. Those kind of moves is what they were missing. So I'll give him that, but I also don't think that has anything to do with I don't think that's a coming from the top.
Max Stick said, just go get the tools and win a World Series. F it, Cap. It's time to rock. Let's go.
I agree with you. I agree with that.
I'm with you. Let's go. Now, am I giving up my top 2 or 3 prospects, Jackson Wiggins, Owen Casey, for a 2-month rental? Unless you can tell me that rental is an absolute star, I am not doing that. I am not. But I would put a package together if you said I'm getting multiple rentals in the same deal. Merrill Kelly, a reliever, and Eugenio Suarez.
I'd do that
and
deal.
You want my top prospects? I'm in.
I'd do that deal. Owen Casey can go in that deal.
I would do it.
Yeah.
If I get multiple players. Steve Nye says, Jed is one of the best GMs, a lot better than Padres, Phillies GMs that spent like crazy. Still no World Series. That's bad management.
Yeah, well,
Dave Dombrowski has a
one of the best
track record.
Dave Dombrowski probably winds up.
I don't know about AJ Preller. He's done nothing.
No, and that was the owners in San Diego.
Okay, so again, the breaking news and why we went live. Cubs have announced a multi-year extension. They did not give the terms. I'm guessing it's 5 years for Jed Hoyer as the president of baseball operations. That's Gordon Wittenmyer. I'm David Kaplan. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the little notification bell, and get all of your content you so richly deserve and want right here from our Recap channel. Here is the Tom Ricketts statement. Jed and his baseball operations staff have built a healthy player development organization and put an exciting playoff contending team on the field. We are looking forward to working with and blah, blah, blah about Jed. I couldn't get to it fast enough. Jed said, I'm so grateful, blah, 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 deliver a championship caliber team to this great city. So there you go.
That's what I heard too. I heard them both say blah, blah, blah. I think they're meeting with the media right now repeating blah, blah, blah.
No question about it. And as Cap said, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
There you go.
But you're going to go home tonight from work. You're going to sit down pour yourself something to drink, a little something to eat, and you're going to watch like big-time baseball. Cubs and Brewers. Matthew Boyd against Jacob Mizorowski with the two teams tied for the best record in the National League.
It really honestly doesn't get bigger than this in July with where these teams, how these teams have gotten where they are, and now they're tied for first head.
Terry E says, come on, Cap, by Jed's own admission, he wanted Beatty or Alvarez from the Mets. They turned him down. He settled for PCA. Yeah, that's how trade talks go. I'll take that guy. Can't have him. I'll take that guy. Can't have him. Guess what? They went back through their scouting reports and said, we like that guy in the draft. I know he's injured. We'll take that guy then. The Mets didn't have to trade him. They did. So that becomes credit to Jed Hoyer. You discuss multiple people. That's how the trade game works.
Well, yeah.
Ancient evil. Okay,
Kyle Hendricks would never be a Cub either if Theo and Jed had gotten their way.
Right. They traded Dempster to Atlanta for Randall Delgado.
And then Dempster used his no trade.
And then they said, I will take Kyle Hendricks.
So, I mean, you can't give credit. I mean, even they don't take credit for that.
Right. It worked out.
Don't give them credit for PCA if they wanted somebody else.
You discuss, but you're unbelievable, man.
I'm
the
just
same
saying,
thing on Kyle Hendricks.
I'm just saying, if that's plan B or C, they did a good job with plan B or C.
Guess what? If you finish last in med school, you know what they call you? Doctor. It does not matter. They got the job done. And when they got Kyle Hendricks.
You know what they call me when I go to that doctor?
Wow.
Terminal.
Yeah. Wow. God forbid. You know, the other thing is when you trade for Kyle Hendricks, guess what? Your scouting reports still have to line up and you still have to develop the guy. And it worked out. So they get the credit. Can you go back to the other comment of the lunatic who said, I wanted somebody new? I mean, people are absolute ancient evil. Hey, ancient evil, I want you to answer this question. I was afraid the Cubs were going to F and do this. I wanted someone new.
So, you want Carter Hawkins?
So hold on a second, ancient evil. On the 28th of July, you have the best record in the National League. You're tied for first. What the F are you looking for? Come on, man, be better. Be better than this.
You know, in fairness, I'd like to know who he wants.
I don't care who he wants. Your team has the best record in the National League. What the F are you looking for?
You know, this isn't like binary here.
Steve B. Cap needs a big foam noodle to smack Gordo for arguing. Yeah, that would be great. I may just use my elbow.
Yeah, right. You bring that on. You know, maybe I need something over here because there's some shit flying to the left of me.
Holy cow. Unbelievable. All right, so let's see now what happens by Thursday. Trade deadline's 5 o'clock. We'll be live at 4:30 Chicago time right here in this very studio. You've got a great game tonight. You got a great game tomorrow night. You've got a day game I'll be at on Wednesday. And then Thursday afternoon at 5 o'clock, that is the drop dead date. There is no August trade deadline anymore. There is just this one.
Are we live on Thursday?
We are. And the only way you can add players beyond Thursday is either if they are released or they're in your system already. That's it.
Yeah, this isn't like it used to be where you had till the end of August to get somebody in your system.
And I'm seeing some people tweeting that the Brewers have acquired Danny Jansen. Is that who it is?
Oh, the catcher.
So that's
a pretty good acquisition.
So I know the Brewers are also trying to get the same guy the Cubs are trying to get. That would be Eugenio Suarez, my guy.
Well, I tell you what, if the Brewers get him, that'll be a colossal F up by the Cubs and a handful of other teams that are in on him.
So,
but that Jansen move, if that is it,
Danny Jansen from the Rays finalized.
That's a good deal. He's a good player. That's more than I thought the Brewers would do already, and there's still several days.
We're going to see. So the question is, if you go get Eugenio Suarez, and it is Eugenio, not Eugenio, as Pat Hughes would like you to know, because I have audio on my phone. In fact, I may even play it right
I trust Pat Hughes. I trust Pat Hughes. Eugenio.
It's Eugenio because I can tell you exactly who told me how it is pronounced. Guess what? The man himself is the one who did it. This is Eugenio Suarez the other day at the All-Star game talking to Jesse Rogers.
Hey, Cap, I appreciate the support. It's Eugenio Suarez here. I might be in Chicago in one day. We see.
It's Eugenio Suarez, he said. So that's how you pronounce his name. There you go. Take that. Thank you, Jesse, for sending that over. Yeah. So if they do go get Eugenio Suarez and Mike Warner, I disagree with you. They still need another bat, especially against a lefty who gives that type of pop, but they do need
If
a
they
ton
don't
of
get a
pitching.
starting pitcher, it doesn't matter what bat.
They're
they
not
get.
going to just get the third baseman.
All right, but-
Gordon Oberman. Jeez.
But they need the pitching. He's right.
Okay. So if Mike Hazen.
If it's one or the other, you better get the pitcher.
Correct. But what if you are dealing with Mike Hazen, who Jed and Mike Hazen were in the Red Sox front office together? They're best of friends. What if you have Mike Hazen saying, I got to have Owen Casey? Okay, give me Merrill Kelly or Zach Gallen and Suarez. I'll give you the 6 or 7 years of control with Owen Casey. I'm in. Let's do it.
Especially if it's Kelly.
Yeah, Merrill Kelly is the guy I want.
Yeah.
100%. Alfredo Arroyo says, love it. Puts Jed in the driver's seat with security. I'm down with what Casey has done for rentals. Hoyer has many great moves. Be excited. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Now, I want a bullpen arm. I absolutely want a bullpen arm. Griffin Jacks, White Tiger said, are they still in on Aroldis Chapman? No. Boston's in the race.
Yeah,
They're not
Boston's
trading him.
not
Griffin Jacks and Joe Ryan and Joan Duran, all of those guys.
Well, the Twins are selling now.
The Twins are going to sell. Joe Ryan's going to be really, really tough.
Yeah.
WWE ringside guy. Trade Suzuki for Schwarber. I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
What the hell is that?
Come on.
Come on.
I mean, let's be better than that. JJ, Tuck doesn't care if Jed is there.
Tuck cares who's running this organization
Correct.
going forward if he's going to make a long-term commitment
If you
to
think,
it.
JJ, that he's going to sign an 8 to 10 year extension and not know who the president of baseball ops is and where the direction of the team is headed, you are sadly mistaken.
And by the way, I'll say this about Jed too. And Cap, you and I both have this experience. He is a very personable guy. He's a good communicator with people. He's it's a source call.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, he's guys like him. He's a very likable guy, and that includes players in the clubhouse. I've talked to all of them, and this clubhouse over the years, guys like him. Now, he's a likable guy. Some of them don't like the business side of it at times, but that does carry some weight, and it does make a difference. If you got some asshole running the place or just somebody that isn't on the same page with how you view things, why would you want to sign up there? But if you got a guy that you can communicate with, that you feel good about, in addition to getting the terms you want, being in a city you want to be in, the ballpark, the facilities, yeah, it makes a difference.
Mike G says, Cap, why not more interest in Merrill Kelly for the Cubs? I just said Merrill Kelly. Mikey G, he's having another great year. He has postseason experience. Yeah, he's 36 years old. He's a free agent at the end of the year. I would absolutely get that done. Drive secure 24/7 says get Hauser and bullpen arm, then go after top line pitcher and bat off bench. Yeah, we're running out of time here, Sparky.
I mean, that's not bad.
It's Thursday.
That's not bad. That might get it done.
Steve said we had 3 years of rebuilding. He's right. Aliens Matrix. This is BS. I don't know what you're talking about.
Us?
Yeah. I
Him?
don't know if you're talking about this guy
Yeah, I'm
or
sure.
the extension.
I get if you're talking about
At
Cap.
least Jed gives us answers as a fan base, unlike the settlers that are the Chicago Bulls. LOL. Erica Blanco. You are so right.
That is, there's truth in that, yes.
So
Oh, there's Omar again.
Yeah, Omar is a little out to lunch. Sorry, Omar.
That is, we won 90 games one year with those Padres. And
Mike G.
that's before they were
Mike
making
G.
any
More
money.
on Merrill Kelly. Sorry, Cap. I just joined late. I meant more rumored, reported interest compared with the other names out there. Well, he's 36. He's a free agent at the end of the year. that plays into it. Some teams will only give up their top guys if they have beyond this year control. That's why the Cubs like Mackenzie Gore and Mitch Keller.
Along with everybody else.
Yeah.
And the thing is, those are the names you're going to hear about because those are the reaching for the stars names.
Mm-hmm.
Even Alcantara at one point, when people thought he's got this run coming in him.
Sandy
Alcantara. And so, but what's going to happen is these rentals are the guys that are going to go off the board in quick sequence as we get down here closer to the deadline. And by the end of the year, you're going to see a guy, maybe Merrill Kelly, who's the guy who is the difference maker, who's the guy who goes in and wins you a couple playoff games, gets you there in the first place.
Trevor D said, these fans are idiots. Jed deserved and earned this extension. You're damn right he earned the extension. Damn right.
If his boss says he earned it, he earned it.
His team has the best record in National League.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
So this year he did the job with one of the top 5 revenue teams in the game. Yeah. Okay.
Well, let me ask you a question, Sparky. He has the best record in the National League, and they like him there. He has very clean books other than Dansby. They don't have any kind of contract going forward, which Jed, by his own admission, said on the radio with me and Jonathan Hood, guess what? That's a great thing to have, but he said it's also a dangerous thing. He said, because if you don't keep some of the guys you want to keep, all of a sudden you're like, we don't have any players. Now you got to fill all these holes. So we'll see.
I mentioned the fiscal responsibility.
Carter Hawkins is weighing in. No one thought Jordan Montgomery would help pitch Texas to a title. Maybe Kelly can.
Okay, Carter, go get Kelly.
You wanted Jordan Montgomery. Yeah, you did.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd that one work out?
Yeah, it worked out fine.
When he pitched to a 6 ERA
It
till he
worked out
blew
fine
out.
at that deadline.
The Scrolls, I've upgraded from Walmart water to eternal water thanks to Cap's ideology. Hashtag chase greatness.
Christ.
So, again, Jed Hoyer gets a multi-year extension. We got the trade deadline Thursday at 5 o'clock Chicago time. And tonight, it's Cubs and Brewers. Man, I can't wait. I'm going from here to the grocery store. I'm going to get something that I want to eat. My wife's got a business dinner. It's me and the dogs. I'm going to get something I want. I'm going to sit down, and I am going to cheer my balls off for my favorite baseball team. Oh, Gordon. Dr. Professor 756 says, just hope the extension means Jed won't feel the pressure to mortgage the entire future to save his job.
He wouldn't have done that anyway.
That's not how Jed rolls.
I mean, hell, he would have got fired if he did that.
Right. That's not how he rolls. So we are going to see. They've got to get, in my opinion, 2 starters, a bullpen arm, a bench bat. And the bench bat might already be on the team.
Exactly.
And then they put Suarez at third, and Shaw becomes your bench bat.
I tell you what, if you get Suarez and a middle rotation, solid, innings eating, productive starter, you get those 2 things.
Carter Hawkins said he is Cap source at 1060 West Addison. Thank you, Carter. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I just lost my thought.
So anyway, Luis Severino, there's one name that's out there. Does have a lot of money left on the contract. So Cubby fan 81 says Luis Severino might be the bulldog type pitcher the Cubs need. Excellent numbers away from Sacramento. Terrible numbers in that small park in Sacramento.
Which might be predictable. Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, that's fine. You know what? And you talk about a change of scenery. You get somebody out of that place, out of that team, and all the ugliness surrounding that team, you probably have a really good chance at lightning in a bottle.
You might. So we'll see how this all goes. I fully expect that there is going to be moves aplenty coming in the next 48 hours, and then you'll have the final 24. White Tiger wants to know, what's the news on Clase and on Dylan Cease? If you missed the news on Emmanuel Clase, he ain't coming, folks.
He's off the board.
He's suspended by Major League Baseball pending a gambling investigation till at least August 31st. Not good.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why guys put themselves in that position anymore. And this is a guy with a huge contract.
ZJ Wags says, is there any Cubs prospect that's considered untouchable and not traded? I would tell you that barring getting a guy like Mackenzie Gore or another Joe Ryan, a controllable elite starter, they'll put Jackson Wiggins in the deal. He won't be in a deal for a rental.
And I think everybody else is fair game for almost any other trade.
Pretty much.
Owen Casey, depending on, a rental, it depends. But if you're getting pitching back, legit pitching back, even if it's a rental, with maybe another rental thrown in.
WWE ringside guy said, Jed Hoyer, don't make any moves because I want to hear Cap rant. If he makes no moves, I will rant. It
doesn't take much. I'm sure you'll hear Cap rant regardless.
So
there'll be something.
Again, that is the latest going on. We wanted to come on live with you because Jed Hoyer got a multi-year extension, and the trade deadline is Thursday, and we'll be live from this studio 4:30 on Thursday. Ryan McGuffey and I will be here. Gordon will be wherever he is at. I think he'll be at Great American Ballpark. And he won't be in here is what I'm saying. And then we'll evaluate it all after the trade deadline hits at 5 o'clock. Oh, Guff is telling me I have to read. Hey, folks, quick time out to talk about something serious. We've all said it before. If only I had slowed down. The Illinois Tollway's new campaign is called If Only. And it's a powerful reminder that speeding doesn't just put you at risk. It affects everyone on the road. Every crash leaves someone wishing they'd done things differently. So take the extra time, slow down, save lives. Lives, including yours, depend on it. The Illinois Tollway and their If Only Illinois Tollway campaign.
I agree with that. That's
Erica says, as much as I love the potential move for Suarez, what does that trade look like? Does that include Matt Shaw? The only knock that he's had over his career, he's a below-average defender at third. Matt Shaw is an elite defender at third. Suarez, you're absolutely right, is a mediocre defender at third.
And I think that's something to think about. I think that's part of why the Yankees pivoted to McMahon.
WWE ringside guy wants to know where Guff is. There he is, right there. Where's Guff at? There you go. So we'll see where this whole thing goes. It's going to be a very interesting week. The Cubs and the White Sox are both going to be busy, I believe, in trades. Cubs and Brewers tonight. Make sure you're locked in on the recap because I'm going to be going nuts all night long. Cubs and Brewers. Matthew Boyd, Jacob Mizorowski.
Oh, God.
Let's get it on.
Oh, jeez.
All right, have a great rest of your day, Gordon. Thanks for coming back.
All right, Cap. Enjoy tonight.
I will. He's the best. Gordon Wittenmyer. Don't forget, recaps after every Cubs and White Sox game here on the channel. Again, the Cubs tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday afternoon, and I'll be in Milwaukee to cover that game. For Gordon, for Guff, for Katie, and our staff here at the recap, thanks for watching. Fly that W tonight, Cubbies. Take that.